Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me. You're in the area of fame exclusives, hosted by myself, Captain Recap, where if it's fashion, album art, or music, it must be exclusive. Today, we're going to be taking a look at something that is kind of cool to me that I did on my last video. I'm going to go ahead and go through the fashion choice that I got from my most cherished Jackson 5 Greatest Hits, 14 Greatest Hits to be exact, album I did on my first video. I'm going to show here is the front of the album art, which is a picture disc and it's kind of in a artistic fashion. And the rear is all five brothers, and namely Michael Jackson in the bottom right of your screen there. And what he wore was what inspired me to do my first video as far as on the Jackson 5 and Michael Jackson. So what I'm going to do is walk us through what my style choices were to be used as influences for my fashion choice. So the first thing you start with is a basic white dress shirt. Now this shirt is anything but basic. This is a Calvin Klein, very light material, very comfortable, very cool. The cooler thing about this is that it's to my size, so I didn't have to do any alterations to it. It is a slim fit, so I won't get the parachute waist going on if I decide to move around a little bit. I mean, it may come up a little bit, but it won't be blousy. And we all know what that is when a guy wears a regular shirt and he's a thin guy and he bends to the left and right, and next thing you know, it's a parachute coming out of his pants. So on this shirt, what I really enjoy about it, and one thing I did many years ago, was I ran across something called $1 Million Collar. If you notice, the opening around the neck is very symmetrical, it's very straight, it's very stiff. So $1 Million Collars, that's what's causing it. It's a very thick material. I don't know what it's made of. It might be some type of polyplastic or some kind of thick material, but it has to actually be altered into the shirt, into the placard, which is where your buttons are and where the holes are on either side. And you insert those, you sew them back in, and you never really have to iron them again. Now, some people are used to using starch and thick starch to make sure they're very stiff and everything, but over time we all know that can kind of give way and it can kind of slack a little bit. And if you're a little active, you know, it might lose its form a bit, but $1 Million Collar, it's going nowhere. So definitely check that out. A good addition to your finer dress shirts. Next, we're going to see how I added a vest to this ensemble. So this is a corduroy vest, very comfortable, very soft. It's got a very nice material to it. And on the inside, I didn't show it, but it's got a nice pattern as well. And it's also very comfortable. And sometimes after a certain time of the evening, it's good to just add a tie. That way you go from kind of evening casual to a little bit more formal in case you're in that kind of environment. And I added this tan tie just to kind of keep it earth tones. And this is a knit tie, so I have a nice collection of them. I like them because they're different. They're actually quite straight. They don't angle out at the bottom like traditional ties do. The only thing is that you have to be careful and dry clean these or hand wash them gently because they have a propensity to kind of draw up on you and shrink. Next, I'm going to go over the pants. So these pants are kind of hybrid. I don't think they're jeans, but they could pass for jeans. But I like these because they are a slim fit. They're not a skinny jean, they're not a tight jean, just a nice slim fit. And they kind of have more of a dressy feel to them. So that's why I kind of address them as pants. And of course, as you can tell, the seams are facing one another. So I have them where the pleat is front facing. Some actual pants and jeans, I don't do pleats. I just have it flat so that the knee surface is just flat. There's no pleat in them. But these, again, since I consider them pants, I put a pleat in them, and I think they look pretty classy. And then next, I added a hat to them. I think that's good to have options to your wardrobe. So this hat kind of got that Gunsmoke feel, but also very gentlemanly, quite mature. I love the leather wrap, and then it's got the material that gives it a nice design at the top of that strap around the crown of it. And it's a conversation piece. I've had people, like, wow, I've quite never seen a design like that. And the brim is not too wide, but it's very it is present, but not too big. No 10-gallon brims or anything, but very comfortable. And then next, I included a second hat. This is kind of more the 60s, 70s style of hats. I've seen the Jackson 5, Michael Jackson, wear a hat like this. Not exactly, of course, but the same kind of form fit. This one kind of has a different myriad of materials, which was very common in the 60s and 70s. Just to take pieces of material, put them together in a shape, and then you got some, then you got a coat trend or something like that going on. Very stylish though. And I enjoy wearing that very comfortable hat and a lot of air, around your head, so it's not, kind of keeping a lot of heat on you. Next, I have the shoes that I chose to wear in the video, and these are by Ted Baker UK, and these are called Jodhpur boots. Now, if I can spell it correctly offhand, it's Jodhpur, and they are kind of the 70s retro style, but these are European kind of cuts. So European style shoes tend to be kind of narrow at the front of the shoe, and they go out just a little bit around the foot, and then they stay narrow around the back of the foot. You can find a lot of pictures where a lot of your talent back then was wearing this style of boot, and actually it was called Chelsea boots. But I love Chelsea, but I love these Jodhpur boots, and if you see in my video, I was playing basketball in them. They're really comfortable. They're not tight. They're narrow, but they're not. They don't squeeze your foot. There's actually a lot of room. And Ted Baker UK, and the inside he puts really quality materials inside, so your foot's always comfortable, whether you're wearing thin socks or thick socks. And these have also an adjustable belt at the top, so you can kind of adjust them for your ankle, so they stay. They don't get that big gap that you see some guys wearing, because they just buy an off-the-rack shoe and it's just one size, and it doesn't account for any kind of customization. But these, you can certainly do that as far as for the fit of the boot. And especially if you're wearing like a slim or a skinny jean, it's very important that jean go over the top of the boot comfortably, because then everyone, the type that they stand up and then the jeans all buckled around the top of the boot and it just looks sloppy. Then they gotta sit there, bend over, try to get it around, and they do this dance over and over again like a ritual. So anyhow, but again, that's Ted Baker UK, and I am a big Ted Baker UK fan. I have a lot of their dress shoes and driver shoes and Chelsea boots, Jodhpur boots, just boots in general. I think boots are that's a staple for a guy that wants some little style in his wardrobe. And so I've gone over essentially today the outfit I wore. That was the nice fit shirt, which I do want to reiterate that it's always good to have a seamstress or a tailor on hand. So if you do decide to buy off the rack, or maybe you're thrifty, or maybe you go to consignment stores, you just nip it in the areas it needs nipping, and then you never have to worry about the fit ever again, as long as you don't change as far as your physical form. And so with that, I'm Captain Recap, and thank you again for joining me at Fame Exclusives, where if it's fashion, if it's album art, and if it's music, it's got to be Fame Exclusives. Be at ease, and thank you so much for tuning in. And stay tuned for my upcoming videos, and please be sure to like and share this stream with anyone you feel can benefit. Any woman, any man. Have a good day. Take care.